Hello sir, it's Emily ringing from Everton Football Club. I just wanted to speak to you today about your satisfaction with the club, and in particular, the manager, Big Sam.
Hang on, what? You need me? You're saying to I like Big Sam? What? You got rid of Ham-Face, you got in Hippo Head, he's having a go at us, the football's crap, he can't win away, he's having a go at fans, he's laughing at us. Am I happy? Are you having a laugh? That gravy boat beaut? What? Oh, I can't believe you've rang me. You're having a... Where's the stadium? Where's the Merseyside power shift? Why aren't we above them red side bastards?
So sorry about that, sir. Can I just ask you one more question, though? What is your favourite type of gravy?
Who is that mystery Everton fan we might never find out? It is Thursday's Talking Reds. Me, Gareth Roberts, joined by Rob Gutmann, making a belated Talking Reds debut there, mate.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's mad that you've never been on it. You just kept KB in me, didn't you?
Yeah,
You're like,
that was it.
Like the girl at school you fancy, just never came near you, wouldn't give you the time of day.
It's exactly like
I'm
that.
speaking from experience here. Claire, why did you do that to me? Okay, anyway, it's new kit day, mate. It's new kit. What do you reckon to the new Liverpool home kit?
Yeah, I'm slightly confused by it. I'm halfway between I don't give a fuck and yeah, I'm annoyed because I don't like a little polo collar. I think they did that a few years ago, the polo collar, didn't they?
I remember collars.
If you ignore the collar, it reminds me a little bit of the 86 kit, I think the 85, in Kenny's first management season. That's one for the kids there, but I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm at the age as well where, look, it's not massively a thing for me now. I think it's red, it's got the liver bird on, that'll do for me. It's
red, that's a bonus. The one we've had last year hasn't been red.
It's got a collar on it, and the only other question on that then is, did you fasten your top button or not? I'm a big fastener of top buttons, as people have pointed out on this video.
People who are born in Liverpool have to fasten the top button. I don't, because I'm not born in Liverpool.
Okay, well, if you look at the promo picture that they've put out, Mo has fastened his top button and Sadio hasn't. So Team Mo or Team Sadio, let us know. Also as well, I found this in the office. I knew it'd come in handy one day, because it's new kit day. Get on this.
It's so shiny, isn't it? That's boss, that.
Can you see that, Sam? Look at the size of it. That is the first kit I ever received, and do you know what? It was amazing. It was amazing because it came in this box, and you got the shirt in one section, the shorts in another, and the socks in the bottom. Big cardboard thing with a cellophane section for each one. It was wrapped up. It was massive. I was absolutely made up. Thought it was Dalglish. Turned out I was at best a crap Nicky Tanner. But let's not talk about that too much.
It's very shiny, isn't it? Just hold it up again.
It is very shiny.
Woo! It's very much of its time, isn't it?
Yeah.
The 1980s. You must see Duran wearing one if they'd sported Liverpool.
All right, let's talk about some serious stuff then. Okay, we've had lots of messing about on this Talking Reds, but a serious issue is that yesterday it came to light that Roma are obviously giving us 5,000 tickets. We knew that, but they're going to charge us £73 for that away leg in Italy. Earlier in the season, Chelsea fans went out to Rome. They were charged £44.50. Roma fans are obviously coming here on Tuesday. They'll be coming to Anfield. There's footage of them queuing up through the night and all that sort of stuff to get those tickets, all getting excited, talking about revenge for 1984 and that kind of thing, all the good stuff. They're only getting charged £48. So for some reason, we get charged 73. Home fans for the second leg, they've got the option of buying £56 tickets. And Roma's own fans as well complained about the prices in the previous round of the Champions League against Barcelona. This isn't the first time either, Rob. We obviously saw with Porto, Liverpool fans there were charged 3 times the price of members. So this keeps happening, it seems, and it is opportunism, it is taking the piss. And someone somewhere needs to get a set of teeth and stop this from happening. I mean, Liverpool can put in a complaint, but I presume that's all they can do. They can't make Roma change this policy. UEFA, on the other hand, are actually running the competition. They have got rules, but it's quite clear that clubs are circumnavigating these rules.
Yeah, we're a victim of our own success, popularity, demand outstripping supply, and I think we do have to make a noise about it and eventually UEFA, they'll be conscious of their sponsors, and their sponsors hopefully will go. It's such a small win to charge loyal fans of good away supported clubs an extra 20 quid on that they would support others. There's no point to. I think we need to put a little bit of pressure on, and getting some publicity for it is definitely a good thing.
And the thing is as well, I mean, Rob, you go to a lot of football and you know this yourself, that wherever you go, and Anfield included, to be honest, you know, you just overcharge for everything anyway, aren't you? You know, like as soon as Liverpool, you know, are drawn against Roma, all the flights go up, or, you know, any possible way to get there goes up in price. When you get there, or you go to any football ground, you charge too much for food, too much for drink. You know, kits, we just mentioned kits are hugely priced as well, and it's like, you know, wherever you turn, it's like, how much can we keep squeezing out of football fans? And it's like, look, I'm sure you can all make a profit here without absolutely ripping us off, because, you know, obviously the concern is that for the ordinary fan, if you like, who's obsessed with football and is bought into it and isn't leaving it anytime soon, it just gets harder and harder for them to be involved.
Yeah, I mean, I got to the stage I'm almost resigned to it. You sort of accept it, and you shouldn't really accept it. I mean, I went on, you know, all the airline sites the minute the draw's made, and straight away you're seeing hundreds of pounds for return flights that would normally be 150 quid. Yeah. Hotel rooms, I mean, we've all been looking at hotel rooms presumptively in Kiev. There aren't any, lads, don't look. Or if the ones that are like £2,000 a night. So you go on Airbnb, people are charging for like Giag broom cupboard rooms in their back of their bed sits, 500 quid a night. And I've got to the point where I go, I've been to a lot of aways, I can step aside now. The money's just getting stupid. Mm-hmm. And you wonder, long run, if I've got that mentality, someone who is fairly hardcore in terms of the away games and the money I put into the club, if I've got that attitude, I'm beginning to have that attitude, long run it's not good for business, lads.
We're all squinting away here, by the way. Beautiful weather on the Liverpool waterfront today, so we thought we'd come outside. People keep saying, go outside and do Talking Reds, go outside. So here we are. We'll try and move around the city as we go on. Other thing that's out there today, more about rail seating stroke safe standing. Obviously the Anfield Wrap is right behind the idea of that being introduced in England. It's currently, legislation currently prevents that in a very grey area type of way. If you want to get into the law, look that up. It's not really for here, but it does. And so, you know, the government have obviously come out, denied West Brom the chance to have a safe standing section, and then the debate has rolled from there. Tracy Crouch, the sports minister, has made several comments about it being a vocal minority that want this. That seems to sort of fly in the face of what we see as evidence as football fans going home and away, people standing week after week in home ends, in away ends, up and down the country. The latest on it is that you know, the Football League, the boss of the Football League's come out and said that they're right behind it, that they want it, and that they're not going to let this go. The Premier League, meanwhile, in a contradictory manner, have come out and said that they say the subject is complex and nuanced, and they say that they need more evidence. Now, this is the bit that's getting me, really, and I'm writing something about it, hopefully get it up on the website today. But what is complex about this? There is a need and a desire for people to stand at football matches, and the current situation does not resolve it. What we have now is the cop, for instance, standing week after week, even against Bournemouth for 90 minutes, in a seat, in a section made for sitting, and so you're falling over seats, and you know, a lot of it's minor injuries to shins and things like that, but equally there's grave safety concerns here. I mean, Rob, you've got a bit of a story about when you took your young lad the match.
Yeah, what we currently have today is unsafe standing. I'd like someone to put that before the government code. Yeah. Are you happy with unsafe standing? Are you happy? Is it a vocal minority or majority who are happy with unsafe standing? Because that's what we have. Yeah, the story you're referring to. I take my two lads, and one of them, he was 8 at the time, 7 at the time, to the League Cup final when we played City at Wembley. It's quite a steep banked section high up on one of the upper tiers. Liverpool equalised through Coutinho. Everyone goes wild. There's 4 youngish, 20-year-old lads behind me, go flying, surfing over the top of me and actually Neil Atkinson, who was next to me, send us flying, and I'm sent careering over over my own 7-year-old. I had to sort of form a kind of human tent over him, taking the weight of these 4 big units on top of me, trying desperately not to get crushed so that I wouldn't in turn crush him. It was a horrible 30-45 seconds. As I got up and I got changed for bed later that night, I had gashes down both legs, and I thought, well, I was injured, my little lad could have been seriously injured, if not a lot worse. It was a nasty experience, and something has to be done. It's nonsense, the current status quo.
Yeah, I mean, people are standing, and all really everyone is pushing for is for to be a choice, because right now, it's unsatisfactory. People standing up, like I said, there's people who want to sit down in the cop, there's people who want to stand up in the cop. They're all in the same place, they're all in a mishmash, they're all arguing with each other. Stewards don't quite know what to do. They can't make an intervention when there's like 13,000 people or whatever the cop is these days standing up. They can't do much about that. So, it's not a satisfactory position, and yet, you've got the government and the Premier League just sort of saying, well, this is where we are and that's that. Well, we don't have to accept that that's that, because there is currently a petition doing the rounds. Last time I checked, it's on about 65,000. If it reaches 100,000, the governments have to react to it. So if you haven't already signed that, please do, please get involved, and let's see what, the government's got to say on it, because what they've said so far isn't really, there's no real reason why they're ignoring the evidence that's already out there. Celtic Park being the prime example. They have the rail seating section since 2016, and it's worked perfectly fine. Everyone says it's better, it's safer. So therefore, quite what more evidence do you need? Tell us what this evidence you need is. Premier League's also claimed that only 5% of fans want to stand, yet they've not really gone into great detail about how they arrived at that figure either. So tell us, let's have the debate, let's be open and honest, from all sides, and let's see where we end up. That's all we're asking for, really. Is there anything else? I've lost my agenda here. Everton's flew off in the wind.
There was something good I saw very interesting. You talked about Roma earlier. It's come out now that somebody at Roma bribes the ref in 1984. Did you see the story?
No.
When they play in the semi-final, they play Dundee United.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it's Dundee win the first leg at, Tannadice, 2-0. Yeah. Roma win the second leg, 3-0. Their second goal on the night, I think it's about the 68th minute, is a dodgy pen.
Oh.
The ref was bribed. Roma... It's not. I think it's not even a matter of dispute. I'm not risking any legal action here. It's a matter of fact now that somebody at Roma bribed the ref. So it should have been Dundee United against us in '84 in that final. Brucey should have been wobbling his legs in front of a Scotsman.
We would have been on a different timeline then, though, Rob. So we don't know whether we would have won. And
butterfly effect.
I might not have had that kit, and the whole.
We might never have met Gareth,
and we might not be doing this video. And my head's chocker here. We'll have to come back in a minute and talk about the papers and that. Okay, we're inside now, and I'm joined now by the Anfield Wrap's John Gibbons. You've been locking yourself away in a studio for days on end, listening to lots of boss interviews and sewing them all together. And the reason is the next Anfield Wrap Moments in Time is out, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out today. 4 o'clock is what we're aiming for. We're just putting all the final little bits together now, but it's about Liverpool beating Everton 5-0 at Goodison Park in 1982. Really famous game. There's obviously Paul Scouser told me it features in that. So it came about, we were just talking in the office about things, and the younger lads, I think it was Josh who helps me quite a lot with these, was saying it's funny that he sings about that game every time he goes to Anfield, but he's never actually seen the goals. So we thought, well, it'd be nice to tell the story of what actually happened that day. So as ever, loads of players involved, including an Everton one, so nice one for Graham Sharp for getting involved as well. Journalists, fans, coaches. Yeah, the story told by the people that are there, and we're really pleased with how it turned out.
Yeah, it's really good. I had a listen last night. John sent it over. I hadn't heard any of it at that point, so it was all new and fresh to me. And it is, I'm biased, obviously. I'm involved in the Anfield Wrap, but the boys have worked really hard on it. And it's a great listen. The man himself, Ian Rush, is on it, talking at length about, how that felt to score, score all those goals against the Blues, what it was like to try and get home after that, which is very interesting. And then also about, Graham Sharp really honest on it as well, and that's a good get by Gibbo, that, because a little bit of Everton perspective on being beaten by your rivals like that.
I do have to say though, when Rushy came in, I reckon you're generally the coolest around footballers. I get a bit giddy, and obviously for the newer employees here, it's still quite a new thing. The footballers come in every now and again, but Robbo, he's too cool for school. But you lost it a bit when Rushy came in, didn't you?
It's like me proper here. I was like, Rushy's here. I was digging through all these magazines I had from the 80s. 80s to find pictures of him, and I was like, I'm going to get these signed. And I think he just thought it was a bit weird. I think he was a bit like, why has this lad got loads of magazines from the 80s with my face on? And it's like, you were my hero, Ian, that's why. And to be fair, he signed them and he was sound, but he's really good on the show as well. I mean, you know, he gets stuck right into it. He understands why we've done this show and why we're putting it together, and it you know, says some really nice things. So, you know, definitely give this one a go, and definitely it's a good one to pass on to people as well. You know, we say all the time, tell other people about the Anfield Wrap so we can keep it all going. I think this is a good example of, you know, now that we can do this as a full-time job, this is what we can do with that time. So give it a listen, pass it on, and well in that.
Nice one.
It's great stuff. So here's a little trailer of it now. Get involved.
The derby game was the biggest game of the season, always.
I think Evertonians sense they were in for a bit of hiding because there seems to be loads of spare tickets going around. So very, very memorable day that.
Once you cross that line, oh my God, I'd have given anything and done anything to get a result against Everton.
I talked to Howard Kendall. He says, well, we couldn't do anything. You know, Liverpool were just superb on the day.
A scoreline like that at Goodison, it would be one, and we're still talking about it now.
Tour moments in time, then get on it. It's a belter. It's about a great time to have been a Red. Battering the Blues 5-0. That's what it's all about. Let's do that again sometime soon, Liverpool. The thing now, Rob here.
Who, me?
Hi.
This guy.
Rob loves a transfer, as you will know if you listen to our podcast, and we know you do. Also, he loves to look into the future and predict great success for the boys in red. So I think you'll like this, Rob. On Football 365 today, they've looked at the team that spent the most in each summer transfer window, and then how they've got on in the following season. And it's been Liverpool a couple of times, but it's also been, you know, City, etc. Because everyone's saying, aren't they? There's a bit of a narrative building. City just go out, the big spend again, and everyone else has got no chance. Now, obviously, that's not great for us. But the conclusion then of this piece, where they've done it for every Premier League season.
What period of time?
Every Premier League season. So
every single one, right.
So they've gone back every summer and said, you know, the biggest spender in this summer window was X, they bought X, Y, Z, and then they say, you know, these also spent quite a bit, and then they've looked at where they finished. So what they concluded was the three biggest spenders in the Premier League. Oh no, hang on. That's the wrong bit. I think it was 12.
What a pro.
I know, I'm having a great time here, aren't I? Let's not do them outside again. Oh, yeah, this is it. There's 5 seasons out of 26 where the club that spent the most money then won the title. Only 5. So basically, this is flying against all the pieces that are being written, saying, oh, we've all got no chance, and City, you know, may as well give it to them now. So what if they go and spend loads of money? It's not only about that, is the point.
Yeah, but a lot of the time, he said, looking to I don't know, contradict it for the sake of it. A lot of the time, teams are spending money to catch up, aren't they? So it's where they start. The only true measure is the I hate to say these words out loud. The average net spend over a period of time, kids. That is the only true measure. And Man City, God love them, spend like there's no tomorrow, and there's no accident they won the league. Was it 3 times in the last 5-6 years? You know, there's the facts, Football 365, not your stupid 5 out of 26. I'm sorry.
See, I was trying to get you to say Liverpool come win the league. Liverpool come win the league next season.
Oh, I see, because
it's our year.
Oh, it's our year. Yeah, but I think we are going to spend more than anyone. We've got the film money burning a hole. Where's the film money, Bill? No, we've got the film money burning a hole. Yeah, no, it is. If you think about it, you know, that 142 is getting spent, and they would have had some more besides, and we sell a few lads, even without even thinking about it or checking out the balance on the current accounts. They'll be able to spend upwards of 200 million, I think. So Liverpool might need that stat in their favour, if you see what I mean, in a long-winded sort of way.
Do it, boys. Do it. Spend, buy good players. Let's go and win everything. In the papers today, the back of the Mirror, you may have heard by now that Joey Barton has got a job. Basically, when his betting ban ends, a couple of days after or a day after, he will start as the head coach, the manager of Fleetwood.
He's what ban, sorry?
Betting. He was betting, wasn't he? He was betting on footy matches and he got banned for it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why he's just been kicking around like, you know,
Joey.
going for runs and talking on Talk Sport and coming on the Anfield Wrap once and causing murder. But yeah, there you go, gone for a Barton. What I like about what the Mirror have done there is they've basically found the maddest picture of him. That basically looks like Jack Nicholson in The Shining. And then they put that on the back of the paper so everyone goes, wow, why have they give him the job?
He's nuts.
Do you think, wow, why have they give him the job?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, I've been listening to Joey on Talk Sport for the last few weeks, you know, in 5-minute snippets, and I wouldn't give him the job, no. Look, he's good. He's good. What's the word? He's good media, isn't he? He's good. I can't remember, copy. That's the expression. He's fine for that, but I'm not sure he's a stable enough personality for being a man. I know all managers are crazy, and there's all kinds of cliches about it, but I just don't see it. Do you?
I mean, he's got his coaching licence. He's done his A. Also, Sean Dyche thinks he's got it in him. Gillan Balaguer actually did his coaching badge at the same time as Joey, and I seen him on Sky last night saying, you know, he struggled at first, but he got into it and he actually emerged as one of the better coaches. So we'll see. I mean, I've read his book and I just think he's a really, you know, there's two sides to him quite clearly, and one is I think he can be quite intelligent. I think he has got some quite interesting views about football, and the book is actually a really good read. I mean, if you fancy it, and loads of people just go, nah, I'm not reading that. I mean, you know, sometimes it's quite nice to challenge yourself and read something that you don't really want to, and it ends up being good. That's what happened with me with the Barton book, and it was interesting. So there are two sides to him, but yeah, you kind of wonder whether you know the inner chimp escapes at some point early on in the appointment, and he ends up, you know, like decking a player or something like that.
It does feel kind of inevitable. It feels like he's Roy Keane on acid. You know, it's... What league are they in, Fleetwood? Is it low enough down for not...
League 2? I'm not sure off the top of my head. You put me on the spot.
I have to say, from their point of view, if you're a minnow of a side, it's a good way of publicising your club, of drawing attention to it. It'll put people on the gate. There's no doubt about that. People are going to come and want to see Fleetwood. Actually, put people on the gate just from the media alone. They'll put 500 on the gate. So you can see why they've done it. Will he be successful? I don't know. I'm not confident.
The other stuff that's gone on today in the papers, we talked about this quite a lot, but the papers seem determined to make something out of everything really on this one. I mean, they love conflict. I've said this before. I've worked for papers, and papers thrive on conflict, and apparently right now there is some conflict between Pogba and Mourinho, but I'm just not sure about this one. I mean, United won against Bournemouth obviously, and Pogba in general played all right, certainly better than he did against West Brom. And yet, you know, they're pulling out this picture here where basically Mourinho's, you know, telling Pogba to sit down, it looks like, and Pogba went to the dressing room but then came back and sat behind him, and you know, the second paragraph here on the back of the Mail is talking about body language, and I always think there's alarm bells ringing there for me, unless you're actually some kind of psychologist and you're a reporter on the Mail. I kind of think you're joining some dots here about, you know, he just played all right and he got substituted, and
yeah,
you know, yesterday he's played all right. It's not a story this time. It might be a story in general that he's going to go, that maybe he does hate Mourinho. But, you know, look, I'm the first to dig at Man United, but this feels a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it feels like something they'd written before they'd even seen the game. Because Pogba's giving them reasons to write negative stories about Man U, and God knows we love a negative story about Man U. He's given them reasons to write them every single game. But I mean, I watched 5 minutes of it last night. I turned it on. United were 1-0 up, hoping to see a Bournemouth equaliser. Pogba goes on a really good run, makes a good goal for Lukaku. I turned it off. Listening to the radio this morning, which were, you know, they weren't the Daily Mail. They weren't talking about Pogba other than in a positive light. So it sounds, I suspect it's a bullshit story.
Yeah, I mean, do you think maybe Liverpool should try and sign him and he could, you know, clean Alex's boots?
Yeah, no. You know, do you know what is interesting? I know people say these sort of things about managers and it annoys me. He's not a Klopp player, he's not a Rafa player, but Pogba's not a Klopp player, is he?
Probably not. Probably not. Not. You know, he's a bit pop star, isn't he? And look, people say, oh well, comes with, you know, he can create a lot of market and fuss and all this kind of thing. I don't think Liverpool under Klopp are too fussed about that kind of thing. I think he's more about team ethic, squad ethic, working hard. Not fellas with mad haircuts. I mean, Bobby's had a few, but
Sadio's got. I don't mind a mad haircut. I like Sadio's haircut. Big fan. I'd do it if I could, Sadio. Yeah, I don't know. It's not going to happen. But you know, at the end of the day, Sadio's a humble human being. Paul Pogba's not a humble human being. We all like a personality. You know, you want a narc or something in the dressing room. But Pogba is bigger than the football club. He wants to be bigger than the football club. That may work for him throughout his career. It wouldn't work for Liverpool Football Club right now.
We do have, as you all know, Arsenal fan Sam behind the camera, so we always try and get a little bit in about Arsenal. Not going to have a dig here, really, Sam, today, but Patrick... Well, kind of.
You specifically said beforehand we're going to have a dig today.
All right, well, we are then. I was trying to dress it up as something else. But Patrick Vieira has been linked to the Arsenal job. Obviously, he's done some developmental roles at Manchester City, and now he's at New York City, which is some kind of related franchise to the whole Abu Dhabi thing. But he's got some experience, is my point. He's 41, which is a great age to be as a human being. And,
great days.
And also he is of course an Arsenal legend. So to me it ticks a few boxes. Is it ticking boxes for you, Sam?
Not convinced.
He's not convinced, Sam says here. But what is strange about it is, to me, that's like, a link where you go, okay, yeah, I could maybe see that working. Rafa's being linked this week. Lots of people are convinced by that. People like me, because we love him. Arsenal fans not so convinced, Sam among them as well. But then it all goes on a big loop and comes back to Wenger again. And with him today, it was saying something like, whatever happens for the rest of this season, win the Europa League, don't win the Europa League, finish really far down the league in comparison to past years, they're just not going to sack him. Like, he's been here 22 years it is now, is that right? 22 years, yeah? And they're just not going to sack him. So what's the score? Like, has he got to pass away?
He's not. It's difficult. You know what? Somebody sort of reminded me of something, was it yesterday when I was doing a show? Leicester win the league 2 years ago. Who finishes second? Arsenal. It's not a bad season. Who wins? We keep saying Klopp's done nothing till he's won a trophy. Who wins trophies? Wenger. He wins trophies. It's 3 FA Cups in 4 years, isn't it? The problem Arsenal have got is they're just sick of his face. They're like someone who's been married for far, far too long, and it just doesn't work for them anymore. I think he could win them the league, and they go, oh, I'd hate to win the league with Wenger now. Honestly, it's a psychological malaise there. I sort of get it. I think they've got to a point. Also, the problem is this groundhog season thing they're having. It's actually slipped below the groundhog season to, what's the word? Shithog season, should we call it? My vocabulary is really on fire today. But, at the end of the day, they're not getting relegated. They're not Everton. They're going to finish 6th. They might win the UEFA Cup. It's not the worst season. As a man once said, Arsenal fans may come to look on this as a golden age of a sorts one day, when they get in some equivalent of Sam Allardyce or fucking Vieira. I mean, he's managed New York what? New York Cosmos. It's not. These aren't football teams. And for all we know, it's a nightclub. I'm losing it here. I'm losing it really badly. It's my first show. Don't let me on again. Fucking hell. No, but honestly, he's not a pedigree manager. Why is that? Fair enough if it's Diego Simeone or something like that. But Vieira, I mean, Rafa maybe. Rafa could be their new George Graham, actually. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, no Arsenal.
The Rafa shout, by the way, there's a good column on Rafa from Brian Reid in the Mirror today, and what he's saying there is that if Newcastle back Rafa, and they should do, obviously, he's done a great job there this season. If they backed him, if they showed him that, they want to push on, they're prepared to give him some money. He said, he's the type of fella where he would probably turn down Arsenal to stay at Newcastle. He just loves to be loved, Rafa, and they're not quite, the fans are showing it, but the clubs certainly are right now. Okay, on the Anfield app today, stuff for you to listen to, loads of good stuff. The European show, Paul Senior chatting about all leagues all around the...
Who?
You know that fella.
Oh, him.
Yeah. Lots of people like the European show.
It's all right, isn't it? Yeah. It's okay.
Are you into it?
It's great.
He's never listened.
It's great.
He's never listened.
No, I'm just slagging off because it's Paul and he'll be watching and looking for it. That's great. I think it's the best show there's
The
ever
fantasy football show is out there as well today, and the Friday show.
I'm on that.
Friday show.
Good, yeah.
Friday show's always a belter. Your big magazine show, looking to the weekend's football.
Your big hitters are on that.
All the big hitters are on it as ever, including Rob. So if you want more Rob, subscribe to the Anfield app, have a listen, £5 a month. There's free shows there to give you a taster. There's paid for ones once you're bought into it all. So yeah, have a go, and we'll be back tomorrow with more Talking Reds.